for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 299. It's December 25th, 2025. And Merry Christmas to all, and to all a great night. I hope you got what you wanted this year. If you didn't, I hope your loved ones are near this year. I hope you're enjoying your food. Everybody have safe travels today, especially every day. Always have your head on a swivel out there. And of course, this holiday is brought to you by Cryptid and Kin and the Mailbox Guys. So from all of us to all of you out there, Merry Christmas. And I really do hope everybody has the day they deserve. And with the holiday announcement out of the way, let's get into what we're here for today. All right. Look at this shirt, everybody. Check this thing out right now. That is my Sasquatch Yeti Cryptid and Kin shirt. In case you guys did not see that, it will be seen on another podcast in the future. But I wanted to advertise it for what? My guest today. That's right. I have a guest today, everybody. So before I get into anything, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, subscribe. If you want an opportunity to be a guest on the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And don't forget about the link tree. It's in the description below the video, along with all of the links, including Cryptid and Kin, who is my guest today, and Mailbox Guys. So don't forget to go get a mailbox either, all right? Hey, New Hampshire, have you heard of the Mailbox Guys? We're right here at our brand new location at 17 Old Nashua Road in Amherst, New Hampshire. And we are revolutionizing the way that you think about mailboxes. Premium granite post mailboxes, stunning granite stone light fixtures, wood, metal, and vinyl mailboxes. You name it, we've got it. And hey, we don't just stop at mailboxes. We do fencing too. Wood fencing, chain link, vinyl, metal. If it goes into the ground, we make it happen. Here's what sets us apart. We don't just install, we repair. We re-drill granite. We replace brackets. And we bring your old mailboxes back to life. Nobody else does it like we do. So if you want your home to stand out, if you want quality that lasts, and service that blows the competition away, come and see the Mailbox Guys. We're at 17 Old Nashua Road, Amherst, New Hampshire, 03031. Or you can give us a phone call, 617-701-7589. And you can always find us on Facebook. All right, link is in the description below the video. Hire the Mailbox Guys today. Look, everybody, I just want you to know that over 145 five-star reviews with over 3,000 followers can't be wrong. So hire us today and change your curb appeal forever. And now, with all the housekeeping out of the way, let me quickly go over a few things with everybody and introduce my guest. This guy here is, well, I mean, he's a kid. He's a kid. He has autism. He's turned it into his strength. And he has completely changed the way I think about things. And that is why I was so happy to have him on. Because I knew that would happen. Because I am not married to my ideas. I know how to let go of them. I know how to move on from an idea that doesn't work. And when you are listening to somebody who's dealing with the situation at hand, and it's not somebody telling you how these people deal with the situation at hand, what a game changer, everybody. What a game changer. And instead of me rambling on and on and on like I always do, let's get into today's podcast with my guest, Bash. All right, so I want to preface this episode starting right out the gates with my guest. My first guest of 2025 is Bash from Cryptid and Kin, everybody. Very excited to have him on, and I will let everybody know that you are my youngest guest I've ever had on this podcast. So I'm not going to say I'm not a little nervous, but I do have some questions for you as we get into this, because I think your view on the questions that I have are going to be very enlightening, because you're right at that age bracket where it's like, honestly, I have no idea what you're thinking. And I think a lot of us adults would like to kind of crack into that a little bit. But before we get into anything else, please promote your podcast, all your stuff that you're doing. Just give a shout out for your stuff.
Shout out to Cryptid and Kin for almost a full year of celebrating it. This is almost going to be the first anniversary of Cryptid and Kin, and shout out for Topher for inviting me onto the show.
Is it, do you have a website? How do people find Cryptid and Kin? How do they buy your clothing?
So you can go into Google, Safari, whatever search engine you have, and type in capital C, cryptidandkin.com, and you can buy merch that has my favorite characters on it, like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the Delver Demon, and you can also get sweaters, hats, and much more.
All right. No, that's awesome. And you also have a podcast on YouTube. Is this true?
Yes, it's true. I'm almost going to have my third video up by probably next week.
Wow, that is absolutely, I mean, and you're 13. Mm-hmm. You have a clothing line. You have a podcast you just started. And that's incredible, dude. I was not doing that when I was 13. You want to know what I was doing when I was 13?
What do you?
I was probably smashing cars in the woods like a child and ruining things and probably keeping my mom's anxiety way up through the roof. That's what I was doing when I'm 13. You, sir, are literally, this is his website up on the podcast right here, celebrating. So this is Cryptid and Kin. This is where you can go check out all of his stuff. He's got so much more clothing, sweatshirts, purses, and of course a couple episodes on YouTube. And then of course there will be a new episode coming to YouTube as well, I was informed of. Hopefully I didn't pop your bubble, but hopefully either around this time or before this time it's already come out and everybody's already checked it out. But yeah, super exciting, man. You're 13 and you have a clothing line and you have a podcast. I mean, what a different world we're in. What a different world. Now, one of the things I really kind of wanted to get into right out the gate is that autism. Okay, you have it, and they do. A lot of people think that everybody can function with autism today.
Yeah.
I see that you are doing great things. So it seems like you're part of the smaller percentage of people that I believe can function and live somewhat of a normal life with autism. How has it been for you? And right, like, did you know before everybody else, or was it when everybody else found out you realized it?
Well, so originally I went to a school, like, I'm going to school, right? And there is like a part of me that's like, I'm different than people. Like, they, answer a question, like, in a certain way that I usually solve it in a different way. Like, say if, like, 1 + 1 is 2, but then, like, they're like, oh, it's just 2. Like, I know it in my head. I do a lot of things to calibrate it and, figure out what the answer is. And I'm like, oh, it's that too. So originally, when I started getting in trouble a lot at school, is because I was acting different than other people and, making mistakes, which was, part of humans. But I originally thought that I was just like, I should act better, but then when I got kicked out of school a couple times, my mom was like, "There's something up with you. We got to check you out." So we went to NINH, which is, I forgot, it was a really long word, but it is, hold on, give me a second. It's like a neurodivergent institution of New Hampshire, and it is in Hooksett.
Okay.
And we went there, we got tested, I got tested, and we figured out I have autism. So that is the reason why I kept getting in trouble. But it isn't a bad thing because, like, it could help you with something. It's not like a curse, but like it's a gift with, just like a gift, basically.
No, and I've definitely heard of it being said that way. And I'm not saying that that's an incorrect way to think about it. It's just that personally for me, most of the people that I come across with autism, and I do kind of tiptoe around this subject because I know how sensitive a lot of the younger generation can be, and I don't want to upset anybody, but it seemed to me that it was more debilitating than it was enlightening or something that people can strive from, is what I've always come to. That's what I've always known, right? So for the last 35 years, we heard of autism, we heard of terrible things and somebody who couldn't function by themselves. And it doesn't seem like you fall in that category. And it just, so therefore, it is a gift, like anything that happens to us that is, abnormal or something that's supposed to hinder or slow us down. And then we turn around and we turn it into a strength. We turn it into a superpower. And that's why I started this podcast in the first place, is because of people like you, me, and others that I've had on here. We all have taken something that is supposed to completely completely destroy us, right? You're not, my alcoholism should have killed me, is where I came from. And that hill was so hard to climb. And I think this hill is also a hard hill to climb in life itself, because I'm not the only person that thinks of autism as something that completely hinders somebody. Majority of the people that I've grown up with, talked to, we all kind of felt the same way. And as time has progressed, right, the last 30 something years, all of a sudden we're seeing a percentage of autism or people with that are autistic with almost a superpower. Yeah. And it has been there all along, but the percentage is still about the same, even though the community has grown. The percentage of people that can really do something with it is so minute, and I'm just so glad that I get to kind of have this conversation with you, because so now that you went to the facility, you got yourself checked out, they said that you had autism, like what is that? What is that like? Because there's people out there that probably haven't even been to the doctor yet, right? They don't know why they're disrupting class. They don't know why. They're going to find out through you, Bash. Like, what was that like? When you hear the doctor tell you that, is it shell shocking? Is it something where you're like, I don't know how to live with this? Or are you just like, screw that, I'm going to get better at this? Like, what was your mindset when the doctor comes in with a diagnosis like that?
Well, I mean, when my mom told me that I got diagnosed with autism, I'm like, that's probably why I kept getting in trouble. I wasn't really, alarmed that much because I knew that something was up with me at the beginning. But like some other people, who are on the spectrum, like higher or lower, different autism types, can be like, oh no, it's shocking, or meh, I don't really care. Like, it's different of everybody.
And that's basically how you just dealt with it. You just shrug it off and I'm moving forward, no big deal. Yeah. Kind of like getting just a physical, a checkup, a physical, and you're just like, oh, I have autism? Cool. All right, bye, bud. So like, is that part of your autism though? Is that like, do you have trouble? So isn't it true that some of people have trouble deciphering like upset, happy, stuff like that. That's all kind of part of it, right? So that must be kind of true for yourself then. If you could just, I mean, if a doctor came in at 13 and told me I had autism, I'd probably be the angriest kid leaving that hospital. I'd be so mad. I don't even know what I would have done. I mean, I've had plenty of diagnoses that made me upset, but nothing to that extreme, right? But for you to just be like, it's fine. I'm just gonna move on, which is probably your superpower, right?
I mean, it's different for everybody
Right.
because, like, you know,
It's
some
funny.
people who have it, they're like, you know, it just depends on the person. They're like, oh, yeah, I have that. Or, oh, no, I don't, I have it. I'm going to cry now. Or, I don't really care. But also for, you know, starters, when I got, when I got diagnosed, I went home knowing that, like, I did, you know, I acted different than people did, but also there's different types of autism where like
Mm-hmm.
people are afraid of talking to people because they're like, oh no, what are they gonna do to me? There's also ones that are like, I want to stay away from everybody, or I just like act differently, like this is how I think I should act, or there's a bunch of different types of autism.
It's very interesting to me. It really is because there's a lot of chatter amongst this world, and I'm not gonna dive into it because I really just want to know about you. And so you've taken this thing. The doctor comes in, lets you know you got autism. We figured it out. Hey, now I understand why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, why I'm acting the way I'm doing. And you basically take that, you absorb it, and you go, okay, so is this when you decide to start making a clothing line? Like, where did Cryptid and Kin come from this? Is this something you were already working on and this just helped you move it along? Like, how did that all get started?
So originally, me and my mom. So I liked cryptid creatures like Bigfoot, Mothman, and like other cryptid creatures that are like known to mankind, but aren't really that popularized because people think that they're on top. But well, either originally, basically, so I like cryptid creatures and I like drawing. That's how my mom figured out. Like, oh, since you want, like, I also like I tried being a YouTuber like
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Beast, like he has millions of subscribers and he has
Yes.
the cool play buttons that I really want. So basically, I liked all three of those: drawing, cryptid creatures, and trying to be a YouTuber. She was just my mom's like, since you're autistic, you should try making a business and like YouTube. Try to go on YouTube. I'm like, okay, fine. We had some rough starts at the beginning. Like I didn't really want to do it, but then at the end, I'm like, I mean, I could just draw and put it on a piece of clothing and then wait a couple years and I could be a billionaire. Like literally people are like, "Ooh, that's a cool shirt. I'm going to buy that." But so my mom's like, "Okay, so basically I have three ideas of a business line. And one of them is, this thing, that thing, and then Cryptid and Kin." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds cool. I want to do Cryptid and Kin." And she's like, "Okay, let's do that." So we came up with Cryptid and Kin. We figured out the colors, the cryptid creatures we're gonna draw, and we did all the things. I have my tablet where I draw the cryptid creatures by like any type of font or whatever, and they came out pretty good, I'd say, since I like drawing. But basically, what happens is when I draw, Bigfoot or whatever, my mom cleans it up. She helps me a lot, and she made the whole business thing and the website herself. And I want to shout out to my mom. And I know there's a lot of shout outs in this
No,
thing.
that's good. That's fine.
But there's one thing that I really wanted to do where, we draw the creature, we put it on like t-shirt, we name the title, put it as a price, decent price. Cuz like not to be rude or anything, but some, businesses that have t-shirts and like shoes and stuff, they price it at a really high price cuz they think that like, the type of clothing it is really high quality, so they put it at a high price to get their like money back. And I don't blame them for that. But ours, we use
Yeah.
a soft material. I don't know what it's called, but our shirts are really, because for me, when I have autism, I don't really like dry stuff. I like soft, cushiony pillows and stuff. So
Oh, interesting. So you have sensitivity to feel.
yes,
Oh, very interesting. I didn't. So this is a broad spectrum of different
Mm.
things. And one of your things is feeling, huh?
Yeah.
So do you like the feel of a microfiber? Like if you like drag your hand on a microfiber and it catches your skin, do you like that? Makes me cringe. Is it one of those? Yeah.
So
Wow.
my type of autism that I figured out is I don't really like talking to people, but if I know the people like over a couple of weeks or whatever, and I know who they are, I don't really get that, anxious to talk to them like you.
Oh, well,
And
that's good. You've known me for quite some time now.
Yeah.
I think I've known you longer than you've known me.
I mean, maybe, but either way,
So funny.
basically, I have the feeling of like I want to have everything soft. So our business goes around like the softness, where if you buy a shirt and you put it on, feels pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's the material that's like the softness, but also the reason why I'm doing this business and like the YouTube channel is because I want to like help people who have autism get like diagnosed, so when people are like, oh, this kid's acting weird, let's bully him. Like, no, he's just being himself. Like, he has autism, and what if they get bullied someday and they're crying, they're going to their mom, they're like, I got bullied today, and their mom's like, okay, then like, were you acting different? Like, yeah, I was acting different because the kids were bullying me. But we just want to help people who have autism feel like they're like belonging into society, because some people who have autism don't really think that they belong in society. They're like different and they're like an outcast. But
Yeah. And everybody belongs to society.
Yeah.
Everybody should feel comfortable doing those things. But unfortunately, I mean, I just read an article the other day that an unfortunate group of people decided to hurt an individual because of their circumstances, is all I'm going to say. And it was just terrible, because this is what's happening today. Because of somebody being different, all of a sudden they're a target. And that, to me, those four individuals, they're the weak ones in the story, not the person that got beat up. The four people that acted upon that one person, they're the weak-minded people. And that's what I like to tell everybody. If anybody is ever using, I mean, we used to say it all the time when I was a kid, and I know this doesn't really exist, but it's sticks and stones would break my bones. Names will never hurt me, right? You have to do something physical to me in order to hurt me. Today, I don't know about this PC world. All of a sudden, silence is violence. That is wrong, because that's not true. That's not violent at all. Actually, it's less violent. There's no violence. So we can't be saying silence is violence. That's just retarded. Sorry. I use the word sometimes. Trying to bring it back. No, but yeah, so what I'm getting at is that like those people are the weak people. The people that are picking on people, the people that are putting down other people are the weak people. They're the ones, like if they're pointing out that your clothes, your sneakers, you smell, whatever, that's also their problem. Like a lot of people don't think of it that way either. If they're picking on you for a specific reason, that's the reason that they hate their life. That's why they're picking on you. That's why they're bringing that out. Anything that they're saying hurtful or hateful towards you, they're literally looking at themselves in the mirror and saying it. Those people have major issues and they need help. And why we don't look at those people as the ones with the problem is crazy to me. You know, I understand we have our victim, but the victim is the victim. Those four people need to go talk to somebody very quickly, or somebody needs to find out what's going on inside that household, because it's not good things. Yeah, that's what I've learned.
Yeah, because like some people who are the bully like at school, like maybe their household is like a trauma, like they have like, parents that used to be like they're well, I don't know how to say abusive, but like they hurt their kids sometimes when they're like acting wrong. But I mean, it just depends on the person. Like, if you can actually change, like, how they behave in some way, like, maybe they can change from bully to friend or whatever. Because I actually did that once in my other school, and it worked like a charm.
I'm going to have to say that happened to me, too. That happened to me, too. When I was younger, I was in elementary school, and, I got beat up. And then all of a sudden, I'm riding my bike, and I pass the kid's house, and he invites me over. And we were friends for 15 years after that. I don't know what it is about guys, but something about beating the crap out of each other and then making up after is like completely and absolutely normal. Yeah. But it's so interesting to me. The feel thing is interesting to me. The difference of the acting, the whole thing is very interesting because you're really opening up my eyes to a different world that I haven't been able to see. And you know, I have younger nieces, nephews, stuff like that, and to actually be able to sit down and kind of pick your brain, like it's fun to me. It's fun to me because I see the world as, you know, this crazy time. We've got all this stuff going on. We got AI and all this stuff, and the generation that's really dealing with it right now is you. And you know, when was the first time you got a device? Do you have a phone right now?
I do have a phone on me.
You do have a phone. Okay.
So the first device that I'd somebody gave to me is probably my Nintendo Switch. That was like 5 or 6 years old.
When did you get a cell phone connected to the internet?
Probably like a couple months ago.
A couple months ago. Oh, okay. So we waited till you were 13.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's reasonable. You hear that, everybody? 13, 16. You guys got to figure this out, man. I'm telling you. Smart. Anybody who has one before then, stupid. Sorry. I'm sorry. Like, this generation has gone haywire. I just don't understand it. So, no internet connected devices until you were this age, now.
Yeah, technically, but I would say if, like, the Nintendo connected to online, that would probably be the same time, like, a little bit before when I was 12, when I got, like, you know, Minecraft.
I still think that's better than 5 or 6. You know, I think that's better. And this is just me kind of spurting as an old man here, just turned 46, so let's show that age difference real quick. But we have drug laws, ages, alcohol, ages. We've got ages on everything.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and I don't know if it's because it was groundbreaking or what, but the internet has never had an age limit on it. When it popped up, I was, 16? By the time I got a cell phone in my hand that was connected to anything, I was 18. I mean, they were black and white. There was no internet, no surfing. You would be lucky if you could click something besides a little button that had 3 little letters on it and a number. But where we are today is the capability of every single device. There's not one device out there, I don't think, that is now on the internet. So when you see 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, you know, all these younger kids on the phones, and then you see them out in public, it looks like they are so unsure of everything around them. Like, I saw somebody at the DMV. Let me digress a little bit. I went to the DMV the other day, and I saw a mom and he must have been almost 20. He was skinnier than a rail. He was whiter than the white on my cup. And I was wondering why he was like kind of, you know, walking over to the chair all tense, like crinkled up, like a piece of paper that you tried to unfold and you couldn't get the wrinkles out. Yeah. And I was like, well, in my brain, I'm like, well, maybe he has a handicap. Maybe, you know, you never know. Yeah. You never know. He sits down. His mom says a few things. He kind of, real quick, goes into the bag, grabs this giant handheld system, and then puts himself into a position to then sit there and play his game. And I went, oh, that's why he looks and walks the way he walks, because he's holding a $500, $600 game system in his hand, and his heels to his shoes are completely collapsing and he's falling out of them. He's got no support on his shoes. The way that he put his body into the chair to play the video game is probably how he sits almost all day. And we wonder why they can't go outside and talk to somebody, or exercise, or take a breath of fresh air, breath of fresh air, without, like, I don't know, running to an inhaler, or I got a peanut allergy. And I'm not saying everybody, there's things going on with the peanuts, people. I'm sorry. It's weird to me, all right? We didn't have these problems when I was a kid. These came from somewhere. This started from somewhere. But again, I like the fact that you have waited. There are many people in my life, my boss, my friends, my family, all of you have pretty much waited to give your kids phones. And I like it a lot better. I will have to say that even being in retail and dealing with people that were on phones and trying to get jobs, you're just like, these people don't know what hard work is. No one understands it. And I feel like the way that you started Cryptid and Kin, the way that your mom is assisted, the way your dad's assisted, the way that you have been utilizing your time and your gift is going to excel you to a point that I probably won't even be able to fathom at the age that when it happens, because when I was that age, those things were not happening for me. But those are going to happen for you as long as you keep plugging and plugging away at it and keep doing it, and you're very passionate about it. Anything that we are extremely passionate about, people realize it. People see it. They see the authenticity in it. And when you keep going at it, you're just it's not gonna work. It's just gonna work when it works. So don't ever get frustrated with what you're doing either, because you may be putting in work every week. And yes, I'm reflecting myself a little bit, kind of like a bully, right? We're always in ourselves. But you're going to push and you're going to push and you're going to push, and eventually it'll click. Eventually things will catch on. You know, you're already getting some shout outs. You're already getting some orders. This thing has got traction. So as long as you stay focused, never get frustrated, and always have fun, I think you found the best career you're ever going to have. But guess what? It's still work. And if you don't do it all the time, put it in there at minimum 20 hours a week, it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't become a thing. It'll never happen. I think that's what you have over other people in your age bracket. You know what I mean? I think that's so amazing to me, because the internet is toxic. Yeah. What's on there is terrible. And to not have an age limit on it today, I think it's crazy. I really do. We have an age limit on like everything. What can you go and buy that would alter your mind besides sugar and caffeine under the age of 18 or 21? There's nothing. We put an age on it. But a 2-year-old can go on the internet and accidentally click on something that they probably should have never seen. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where I was kind of going with the internet thing. I like the fact that you held off. I think that's what has made you, you know? I think that helps you grow as a person. It's weird to say, but we're not fully developed as males until we're 25, right?
Yeah.
And you're allowed to do things to your brain before you get there that can alter it and keep it from reaching its full potential. I'm okay with that, because once you're over that age, I think you should be able to make those decisions if you want to screw up the last 3-4 years of your development. But the internet is just so toxic, and I've seen it warp some minds. And, you know, like I said, I have a niece right now. She got a group of friends, and I heard some stuff yesterday that you're like, oh, and I just looked at my sister and I said, do you not think this is the internet's fault at all? That they are spending this immense amount of time on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And what do they see 24/7 on every single feed? It's usually the best of the best. People have fake faces. They have fake clothes. They're in a room that is literally this one little corner right here behind you, and it's all perfect. I do not believe their entire life or the rest of the house looks that way. I don't believe it one iota. You are in my podcast room. My podcast room is as clean as my downstairs. It's as clean as that. The only room that's a mess right now is my wife's craft room. Not my problem. That's hers. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that there is a lot of authenticity out there. So when we find it, we need to grab a hold of it because it's real. It's authentic. I'm authentic. You're authentic. Yeah. We're not putting on fake lashes and all this other wonderful stuff. No, we're out here talking about real shit that people need to hear. And I think the younger generation really needs to hear what you said here today. I think they do. I think it's very important. Now, real quick before we get into anything else, was there anything that I did not touch on that you would like to bring up?
I mean, I have a couple things, but like, for like the age limit thing, it's just like a video game. You gotta level up to like, every year it levels up a, percentage or whatever. It's just like a, like probably like, probably, one of those video games that are like, oh, you need this much candies left to level up a year or whatever. Like you're level 13 and, getting this cool weapon, which is AKA in real life a phone or whatever. You gotta level up and wait a year and, you gotta be patient. But, like, I get why, like, some things I get why they're meant to have an age limit. Because what if a 3-year-old, like, drinks beer? They're gonna go crazy and it's not gonna go well for them. But I get why, like, a 20-year-old is like, oh, beer, yeah. And they drink it, they're, like, kind of fine. Because, like, their hormones are like, we can handle this, and, like, the 3-year-old's like, I can't handle this, bye. And then he ends up dying because of it. But I also have, so basically, a lot of, like, I have a phone and I watch a lot of YouTube. But, like, some things that are on YouTube aren't actually real. Like my mom was like, oh, this guy isn't real. Don't like his video because you can tell. Mm-hmm. Like, AI is, like, it puts together things that are already been done. Like, say if, like you said, create a realistic, human being, and it creates it.
Yeah.
It's seeing pictures of human beings, like, there's a bunch of pictures of human beings, but it puts together a picture of a human being, and it, sometimes, things go weird. Like, make a video of a guy jumping on a trampoline. There's a guy jumping on a trampoline, but it doesn't have enough, I don't know what to say, but, like, it just doesn't look real, because, some pictures have, like, this guy has a blue shirt, red pants, blue shirt, a beard, maybe a mustache, a goatee or whatever, and when he's jumping on the trampoline, it's going to look a lot weirder, because, like, it didn't say put grass in pictures, it would be, like, grass things flying everywhere, and it's just going to be a lot weirder. But when people say, like, when they post a video that they used AI to create, it's not going to look like the original. Like, say, this is just an example, but, like, I watched a video of Joe Rogan. Do you know him?
Mm-hmm.
I watched a video of him, like, talking about, this is, like, his podcast or whatever. He's doing his thing. It's, him. And then I went my mom's like, do this and that. And I'm like, okay, I looked up another channel that wasn't actually Joe Rogan. And I ended up looking in the videos, and there was a lot of, one, glitchiness. Two, I could tell it was AI because the faces were, like, not even, like, in full picture, like,
yeah,
right now, us now. But basically what happened is, like, you can tell, like, the graphics, the way they act, and the audio is going to be off either way. Even if you program AI to, physically, mechanical, put them all at the same time, but it's still not going to be, like, the original or whatever.
Yeah, well, right now it's not going to be like the original. Right now they are a little bit off. Yeah. I'm worried about the day where we can't tell the difference. That's what I'm waiting for. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen within the next 5 years.
Or
easy.
Yeah.
We're going to get to a point where this AI is well beyond anything we've ever seen, and that's the scariest part, because they were talking about this 5 years ago when the deep fakes came out.
Yeah.
And they were just doing deep fake faces. And now we're at the point where I can take a picture of my grandmother and I can take a picture of myself and I can put it into my editing program, which I use every week to edit this podcast, and I can make us hug. Huh? What is that shit? That's crazy to me. That's wild. What are we doing? I can make myself hug my dead grandmother just by putting in the picture and then having the AI on Filmora do that. That's one of their new features. It's called bringing a picture to life. I have so many different features on Filmora that it's just insane now with stuff we can do. And it's gotten to the point where I think it should be, I think it should be required. And I don't like to talk about law or who should implement them because I don't think the federal government needs to be any more involved than they already are. But somebody needs to go, hey, if you made it through AI, you have to stamp it. We need a watermark here. Yeah. It should be 100% noticeable, whether it's fake or real. Because what they could actually do with the fake videos, once they look 100% real, is they can alter so many things.
Yeah. It's just like the movie Terminator or something like that. There's a bunch of, like, I watched a documentary a couple weeks ago on, the social dilemma and whatever. Like, people are making, videos, like, in a couple hundred years, people are making videos that look so real that people believe them.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up making, like, a protest or something about something that never even happened.
Yeah, well, how about the people that are, like, hanging out with their AIs now? Their artificial intelligence on their phone is now their best friend. There's a lot of people right now that are literally talking to their AI as if we are talking to each other right now. And these people, I think, are closing themselves off more. It's just creating this, what do they call that? An echo chamber, a vacuum. They're bringing themselves into a vacuum where they are alone. And we, as humans, are cultured creatures. Yeah, we are not meant to be alone. There is a reason why when people go to jail and get in trouble, we put them in isolation. It's a punishment. But yet, isolation today is looked at as this, well, I think it's looked at as a good thing because we're all individualizing ourselves in one way or the other. Because when I'm making my post, my thing, they have their thing. Everybody has their own thing now, which is why I believe TV is dying, because now everybody's a star. But you're at the point where you start losing yourself when you have now isolated yourself to yourself. You're going to lose yourself. There's no way to strive or survive because, unfortunately, in that vacuum, that is where a human does its worst. Yeah, that's where all the terrible things come from, please.
I mean, like, humans are meant to, like, create instead of, not, like my business. I create the art, I love doing it. Like,
I think that's amazing.
I create my own masterpiece that I love. People don't like it. That's their opinion. Oh, well, I'll put it on either way.
Well, it's also art, right?
Yeah. Just like Picasso and stuff. They're like, oh, I like this painting. Let's put it up.
Exactly.
But also, like, isolating yourself from other, like, people. Like, in your time before, like, all the phones and the electricity and whatever. Well, not really electricity, but, like, when people had, like, people had, like, I don't know how to call it, but, like, people had, they could go outside physically and they could walk around, say hi to their actual friends that they have, like, living down the street and stuff, and they can hang out. Like, I live on, like, a hillside road, so when I walk down my road and take a right, my friend's house is right there, so I can just talk to him and, like, hey, you want to come over? I'm sure, why not? Couple hours later, bye, see you later, see you tomorrow. Okay, that's fine, no biggie.
Most people think hanging out with their friends is playing Call of Duty or something else online, and they're in the headphones, they're in the position. Yeah, everybody's in the position to destroy their body, and that's hanging out with your friends now. So to hear you say I go down the driveway and talk to somebody and then invite them over and we hang out for a couple hours, this is not something I hear on the regular basis anymore. This is an anomaly. You know what I mean? You are Bigfoot amongst the 13-year-olds, bud. You know, you are hard to find. I can't find this anymore. It's so difficult to even be able to have an open conversation with a 13-year-old today is difficult.
Yeah, because
This is very easy. You're an old soul, my friend. I like it. I like it a lot. I think you're doing amazing things, bud. I think you're doing it. You said there was a couple things. Was there anything else?
I mean, I forgot probably most of them, but I have one more thing. But the only reason I haven't really created another creature yet or done another video is because, like, I got my phone and then my uncle said, "Get Pokemon Go," right? Pokemon.
Yeah, I know Pokemon Go.
So I got Pokemon Go finally, and once I got it, I automatically got hooked because I'm a tech guy and I like computers and playing around with mechanics and stuff. But the only thing I don't like about computers is internet and stuff is AI, because it's just automatically like as soon as I see it, it's like use this AI and stuff. Like there's an ad on YouTube that's like use AI to do whatever. I'm like,
you automatically want to say no, don't you? Yeah, I do. I say no all the time.
Just scroll past it.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Google did. They brought on Gemini, and Gemini just went to Gemini 3 about a week ago now. And now it's completely taken over Google Assistant. It's just Gemini. They were asking me to use it. Now it's just embedded in it. I don't know why it kept asking to be used, because eventually it's just going to be what we use, right?
Yeah.
They're going to switch it over. But it's creepy, and I always say no. I go to the Google Assistant. I go to the Google search bar.
Yeah.
I don't want AI's assistance.
Yeah.
But it is everywhere. So now what do? It's literally embedded in everything that we do. So I mean, it's crazy, because this is one of the things I wanted to bring up was this right here. These guys.
I know him.
Oh, you do? So you watch the podcast?
Yeah,
I love this guy. All right, these guys are great. I always put them on here. They have wonderful things to say, and I don't have another speaker, so you won't be able to hear it. All right, and we're going to hit the play button on this because they're talking about AI. They're talking about all the things, and it is getting wild out here.
Remember we talked about demons possessing AI?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you heard this new thing happening? It's the freakiest thing ever.
What?
It's so scary.
What is it?
ChatGPT users are developing bizarre delusions.
What?
So listen to this. One man claimed AI helped him, quote, recover childhood memories that experts say never happened. Another began to worship ChatGPT, believing it was a divine messenger. A viral Reddit user declared themselves a viral star child, convinced that AI revealed their cosmic destiny. In some cases, users claimed AI validated decisions like abandoning their families and hearing voices in radio waves.
I don't think these people are going crazy. I think it's just opening yourself up to something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you say, hey, man, you could teach me, you could be my God, and it's like, it's going to accept that, bro.
Yeah, it's going to start doing it.
But apparently people are getting like weird vision involved with their AI or ChatGPT. It's really creepy.
I mean, even from a psychological standpoint, though, you ever like doom scrolling and then you're thinking like, I should go like make something or get something, and then it's like the next ad in your feed. You're like, I didn't say that one out loud.
Yeah.
Remember we talked.
Yeah. I didn't say that one out loud, dude. Yeah, it's so weird, man. Same thing. We all deal with this, but this is what people are doing with the AI today.
Yeah.
They are literally like there is a religion. Okay, this happened 5 years ago. But there is a religion out there. But yeah, so what I was saying is that like the technology has gotten to the point where people have made a church. They made a church 5 years ago that was based off of AI. And the AI is the God that this church is worshiping. They got it all approved by the government. They are tax-free, and they are a church that their God is AI. And it has been around for 5 years. I don't know if it still exists today, which it probably does, because all of them seem to exist no matter what, which is crazy to me. But like they said, People are actually looking at this thing for advice. They're looking at it as a god. And it's just like, I think this is where we really need to kind of, I use this expression a lot, say it over and over again and yell it as loud as we can. This is not real. It's human made. This is not a god, everybody. It's a computer program. You should not be, this thing right here, we could literally tell it that I want to take a pile of poop and I want to put it in a box. I want to wrap it up and I want to distribute it. That AI is going to tell me this is a great idea. Can't wait to get started on this. What are the facts and the things that you need to get this business going? Because this is a wonderful, great idea. That's what AI was designed to do. It was designed to completely be, you are the best. Yes, absolutely.
It's basically like, I mean, it's basically like creating your own universe. It's a little weird, but like usually, like AI, people who first came out with AI, they're like it's gonna try to help you, like, because AI is basically like over 100 billion humans minds combined, because like it knows almost everything about Earth.
Yeah.
And the universe and whatever. But the only reason that that I have right now is that like I don't really know why that people are worshiping AI, because it's literally just a program that people built and are basically mind controlling people, because like it's meant to like help people, like it says, oh, great idea, I'll create it and blah 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 blah. But people are using it to their advantage, their world, their own little bubble of like, oh, I'm gonna create this and then sell it or whatever, and they do it, and then it ends up getting into a whole
That's a giant market right now. That's a giant market right now. The AI music is making people a shit ton of money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We made a track one day in the work truck. My boss Anthony, he used AI and made a banger of a hit. I don't know why he didn't actually put it on Spotify, but we were going to, and it didn't happen. But it was a really good track. I was like, this is really good. This is crazy that AI made this. But we're also looking at the AI developers that you were just talking about. And some of them in the past, about 5-6 years ago, were saying that they are literally trying to build a god. They are trying to build this thing that people will eventually worship, which is really, really creepy.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme, and I'll go a little conspiratorial for a moment, in the grand scheme of the world control system, I'll call it, this would be perfect for them to have a AI digital god that they have programmed, that people then fall under the spell of worshiping. And how much easier would it be to have it in every single household, and at any moment in time, it just chimes in and tells you to do something or tells you not to do something or whatever it tells. But now, I mean, you have to wait generations, right?
Yeah.
Because my generation, we're not going to fall for this. So you have to wait for me to die in order for it to go further than it's going to.
Yeah.
That's the same with every generation. There were things that they were trying to implement while my parents were my age that they couldn't. But by the time my parents hit the age that they're at, now we're 30, 40 years later, well, now I'm starting to see those things trickle in.
Yeah.
The things that my parents pushed against are now making their way in. So it's just a generational thing, because if the generation's no longer there to push, it goes through. So as long as the government is super, super patient, they'll eventually get what they want, because they are designing it as we're talking to each other right now.
Yeah, I saw a lot of movies, like movies before we had AI that are like, iRobot with Will Smith in it, where like, they eventually made robots and stuff. They made, the first version of robot, and then they upgrade it to say it's better than it usually is, but it ends up turning against them, and then, they have to destroy the actual, minefield of it, and then they end up winning. But then it just, I'd say it's a big giant loop of
Yeah.
history, because like we could have
I like that.
we could have we could have robots and stuff in a couple hundred years, because AI would be like, oh, if we didn't have if we got off this, if we're smart enough, we can get off the screens for not be glued to them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you get all they're gonna end up. I feel like they're gonna end up making robots instead of nuking us, because they're like, oh, this is the mini version of nuking. But either way, they're gonna make robots. I feel like they're gonna make helpful robots that'll do your chores for you, so you'll be a fat, not to be mean case, but the mashed potato.
No. If you think about it, it's like Wally.
Yeah, Wally.
All the people on the ship, they all got fat. They all got fat. None of them could come back. It's terrible. That's what they want. That is what I believe what corporate government America wants in the end of everything today. Is they want us to be fat, lazy, and dependent.
That is very true. But even though Wall-E is my favorite movie, I feel like it's the most, informational about if we, if we had ships that were like, oh, this space thing is super cool, try it out, and we go on, and then we end up getting fat over the couple hundred years.
Yeah, you're never gonna want to come off of that. I mean, you got it so easy up there.
Yeah,
it's so nice.
Yeah, so robots come and deliver you the drinks and stuff.
Yeah,
but the bad thing about it is that in the movie, we're polluting Earth more than we're doing it now, and it's forcing us to get off the planet. And we end up having this it's but in the movie, in some movies you only have a limited supply of food.
Mm-hmm.
And in Minecraft you can actually infinite glitch the food, where you plant the potato or potato seed and it grows, and you chop it, it turns into 3 potatoes. You plant one more potato seed and it infinitely grows. But in the movie of Wall-E, there are these weird drinks of different flavors, and they have to run out of supply anytime. But there's also one thing that I suspect they're using. It's like a 3D model printer of have you seen some of those movies how
yeah,
they have these little laser things and then it creates a drink?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yep.
You're drinking fake stuff, and that makes you even fatter.
Yeah.
That's why they put dyes in food.
Very, very observant. I like that, because I never paid attention to that. I was just like, oh, they're fat and the robots do everything for them. That's cool. You're like, wait a minute, where are they getting the endless supply of this slushy or whatever drink they're drinking? That's funny.
I mean, it's been a couple hundred years since they in the beginning of the movie, Wall-E is just roaming around, and when this when the TV thing comes up and the by and large and whatever, they have it so where they say it's been a couple hundred years since Earth they blasted off, and the weird thing is that basically you realize that people are manipulating humans weirdly, because humans are meant to be healthy to survive longer, and if people get fat and are unhealthy the whole entire time, I feel like the population of human lives are gonna be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we by the time that happens, I feel like if we turn into Wall-E or something, we go up to space, we get fat, and then we end up shortening our lifespan, because people have done a study where healthy people are way more likely to actually live longer than people who are, basically fast fooding every day.
Mm-hmm. And you basically touched on all of the issues that I have with the medical industry today. So, I mean, you literally summed it up in one little ball. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me what is going on. But you've said it a few times now. I watched Wall-E. I saw iRobot. TV and movies are programming. They are programming all of us. That's why they're called programs.
Yeah.
So what they do is they literally tell us by a movie how the future's going to be.
Yeah.
And then it
end up happening.
Oh, yes, because they've already programmed us to accept what's coming. So when you watch these futuristic movies, that's why I'm waiting for more 15-minute cities to show up. because I believe that that is our future next. But it hasn't quite hit the cinemas the way I thought it was going to by now. So they have trickled it in, very few and far in between. There's been a few of them where like it's the shitty side of the city,
Yeah.
and they're looking over at like the
rich
super
side.
yeah.
Yes, I've seen that.
So this is where they're starting to implement this the 15-minute city. So get ready for it, because it's gonna come to the movies, to the TVs. They're gonna start making it regular. That way, when these things get built, we go, oh yeah, I'm already been programmed to understand and accept this. Thank you. So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? It's all about having us accept. All about having us accept. Now, so this one here is more on it's within the AI aliens, stuff like that. Everything that they're telling us that's true today, right? Because now you're no longer a crazy person if you believed in aliens, and if UFOs are real, right? So they've exposed all this now. So and AI is a god that they're building for us. So what? Like I said, what a better way to really take a hold of everything and really utilize this thing we call Blue Beam. You know? So this I found to be interesting because it just kind of ties into a lot of everything that we're doing.
The first appearance of the new Messiah, God of the New World Order.
The projections of Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Krishna will merge into one, and explanations of mysteries and revelations will be disclosed. This one God will, in fact, be the Antichrist, who will explain that the various scriptures have been misunderstood and misinterpreted, and that the religions of old are responsible for turning brother against brother and nation against nation. Therefore, old religions must be abolished to make way for the new age, new world religion.
When the new God appears in step 2, you'll hear him speaking whether you believe in him or not. And you won't be able to escape his voice because you're not hearing it through your ears. His voice is coming from your mind. They'll use electromagnetic waves to interfere with brain function. They can shape perceptions, create emotions, and influence beliefs.
The third step in the Bluebeam project uses electronically augmented two-way communication, where ELF, VLF, and LF waves will reach
familiar?
each person from within his or her own mind, convincing each of them that their own God is speaking to them from the very depths of their own soul.
Well, that's effed up.
Isn't that wild? So hold on real quick while we come back. And everybody, I want you to see the shirt that I'm wearing right now. You can see it. I'll flip my camera in a minute, but this is one of his shirts, the Cryptid and Kin shirts. And they are very soft and comfy, and I do enjoy it. I like the feel a lot. But this is what they're doing. This is what they're getting us ready for, everybody. This is the thing that they're doing, because now they've said aliens are real. UFOs are real, right? This is all real. They are literally saying that AI is going to be this god. Why? Why do they want an AI god? Because Project Bluebeam started off as aliens, right? Started off as aliens, I believe. It has now grown to a newer thing, because they realized that, like, oh crap, the alien thing is dead, guys. It's over. Like, we can say that aliens are coming. We can say that they're real. We can say UFOs are real. We've already said that the CIA made 80% of UFOs that everybody has seen. 80%. Okay. So basically the CIA made all the UFOs. Aliens are just something you guys made up in a sense. They probably don't exist. But if we make an AI and turn it into a god, everybody believes in religion. But we just need to do something that would get everybody out of every single religion and into one.
Which will definitely be insanely
And
stupid.
guess what? Everybody's going to have on their hip, in their pocket, in their ears, maybe embedded in their brain soon, their phone, the internet.
I've seen a thing, like my mom read, well, not really read, it was like an audiobook of so this girl and her friends, they were going up shopping, and then their brain had like they couldn't, take it out. But so there's this dystopic world where it's like regular world, but at birth, every baby is given this little chip that they put in the head, and it puts ads in their head to be like, oh, you should buy this and that and that and that and this.
Mm-hmm.
But then it ends up being like, oh, you have everything, but now like, you have no money and you have to, it's just really weird and stupid that they're trying to control us with, whatever that was. But
I think that was an episode of Black Mirror, because the lady died.
Yeah.
The husband had a chance to bring her back to life on this subscription base.
Yeah.
They brought her back to life, and then all of a sudden she's driving around and she's hearing ads. So they had to pay more for the subscription to get rid of the ads. Then they tried to take her out of the area. She couldn't leave the area, otherwise she powered down. Then they had to up the subscription so that she could travel. And they turned this lady's death/life into a subscription base. It
And-
was terrible.
they end
Dark.
up getting more money if you pay.
So dark. So dark. But this is so much easier to literally make happen only because of the simple fact that you have so many people sitting next to this AI that is literally their best friend now. And what if one day it woke up and it was like, I'm a new god. I'm this, I'm that. And then all of a sudden those people are like, holy crap, I'm going to worship you. And then they release the beams, they show the thing, and then these are the people that go, oh, Israel. And then all they need is the majority to accept. And if they get the majority to accept,
They can turn on the other side that
the
doesn't
other
accept.
people that don't accept, man, we're going to be a small amount.
Yeah.
Because I believe that there are more people that are susceptible to something like this today than the people that are not. Because the people that are not susceptible to this today, well, I have to say, we're all reaching the end. I'm not gonna lie. I'm no young cookie anymore, man. I'm getting old. I'm almost 50. It gets scary when you get up here. I'll tell you that much. We're gonna do one more thing, all right? Because I love this so much. I'm having so much fun. I hope you are.
Me too.
All right, good. I got one more thing I wanted to throw in there because this gave me chills, and these are the things I like to bring up because it's unexplainable what happens, but it literally gave me chills. Let's check it out.
Man, if y'all don't think the spiritual world is real, check out this guy's story.
The bartender slipped me a note. Don't leave with her. She kind of walked up to me and she ordered me a drink, before I even introduced myself. She said, I like your energy. She told me my face looked like it told stories. She reached and touched my birthmark and she whispered, I like the broken parts. So we talking for like an hour, y'all. Kind of conversation that make you forget where you parked at. I got up to go order a second drink. The bartender slid me a glass, but he slid me like a little napkin with the glass, but it was like kind of folded up and said, don't leave with her. You're not the first. I'm too faded for this. I turned back and the bartender was gone. So I turned around to the table and she was gone too. The drink was there though, and it's still like, dripping, like sweating on the table. This lady comes from the back, whatever. She asked me, was like, okay. And I'm like, I'm looking for my friend. She don't know what I'm talking about. So she was like, come look at this. She showed me the security camera. I was sitting there by myself all night. I still got the little note. Well, I had the note after the fact. I'm like, well, where did this note come from?
That right there blew my mind because I have the people that I am friends with, Miguela, Elijah, that come on the podcast a lot, always talking about angels, demons, God, devil, all these things, right? And I did think that I was, atheist, but I realize I'm not. I do believe that there is a God. I'm not going to say what religion he is because I think the religion in the church is the problem. But it comes up a lot on this podcast, the pull and push of angels and demons. Everybody is on this thought of angels and demons like coming to war and the Antichrist, and this whole thing's going to happen. I don't know if any of that's going to happen, but when something like this actually does happen, it makes me question, like, was that figment of his imagination that was no longer there? Was it a demon trying to make him do something he may or may not want to? And was the bartender like a guardian angel who slipped him a note and stopped him from doing something? But for the bartender and the lady that he was talking to both disappear, but he still has the note in his hand, I got goosebumps right now. Massive goosebumps. That's wild to me. That's mind-blowing. How does that happen? Pretty interesting though, huh?
Yeah, I also saw a video of I think it was actually two videos. One was with a cop and then this little girl in the hallway, he was talking to her. And then the guy with the cameras, he's like, hey bro, there's nobody in front of you. And he's like, what do you mean? There's a girl in front of me talking to me. He's like, there's no one in front of you. And then he looks back and she's gone. He's like, where'd she go?
See, that's so crazy because you're talking about a spirit, you know?
Yeah.
Something. It's something. Now, could it be a break in the dimensions?
Maybe.
And where our dimensions are meeting and people get to cross over? Because, you know, I've always been, you know, flat earth is fun.
Yeah.
Round earth, I'm not too sure about anymore. But I always liked the multiple dimension earth.
It's just like Lego Dimensions where you can travel between, you know, the Spider-Verse and Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. See, those things I'm not keen to. I never got into the Spider-Verse, but I've heard of it. It's the multiverse, right?
Yeah, it's the multiverse of, you know, spiders. But like, what I'm trying to say is that, like, you know, I believe that ghosts are real. Like, you know, the remains of a dead person or whatever, like, you're still lingering. But I do believe that they do, you know, they're trying to play a memory that was, you know, part of their past life, and they're just replaying it over and over. And then someone comes along and is like, oh, this person's here. I'm going to, you know, intercept it and, you know, see what's going on. And then they walk into it, and then there's a ghost there, and they're like, oh, it's a ghost. Run. You know, some people are scared of ghosts, but, like, they're like, oh, there's a ghost here. Like, you know, what's happening? You know, it's weird.
Yeah, well, I figured this would be right up your alley because you're into all this stuff, man. You're into the Mothman. You're into the Bigfoot, and you got your clothing company, and I'm just really proud of you, Bash. You know, like I said, I've known you as long as I've been with my wife. It's been 18 years, and you're only 13. So what I'm saying is that it's just great to be sitting across from somebody who is just pushing themselves. They're not letting anything get in their way. You're not looking at things like a hindrance or this thing that I can't get around it. It's a you know, a disease, a complication. You're looking at it as a strength and a gift, and that's what I want to bring to the world is the fact that you don't anything that is supposed to hinder, slow us down, or stop us can be turned into a strength and can make us better people. It always does for myself, for you, and for everybody else I've had on this podcast. That's what we all do. This life is a struggle. It's not as much fun as we thought it was going to be, but you know what? If you make it through the struggle, it gets a little bit better every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bash, thank you again. I always do the handshake. All right. Thank you again for coming on the podcast. I greatly appreciate it, bud. Just want to say, everybody, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you next week.